What's up, guys? It's Wally. Today we're going to be doing some battles with an Assault Vest Altered Forme Giratina. Now, I've done a video before with an Origin Forme Giratina, and I honestly really love that team. I mean, so much so that I ended up using that team on stream for like the next 2 weeks after that video came out, mainly because I really loved that Origin Forme Giratina. But I never really took a look at the Altered Forme. But thankfully for me, our buddy Nate ended up putting this team together, which, Nate, thank you very much for letting me use the team, man. I really appreciate it. But he's letting me use this team, and I think that this Altered Forme Giratina could be just as good, if not potentially better than the Origin Forme. Now, don't get me wrong, the difference between the Origin Forme and the Altered Forme is really just the attack special attack and the defense special defense. They're kind of swapped for both of them. So basically, the Origin Forme does have a 120 in its attack and special attack, and 100 in the defense special defense, whereas the Altered Forme has 100 in the attack special attack and 120 in the defense and special defense. And its high HP stat allows it to be extremely, extremely bulky. And when you put the Assault Vest on this thing's going to stay out there for a while. Even if it's something that's super effective from something strong like this, Shadow Rider Calyrex, it can still end up tanking that. Maybe just one hit, but it'll still be able to tank that. Plus, when you have that 100 attack power, you can still end up doing some really good damage, especially with something like Shadow Force. A 120 power, yes, it is a 2-turn move. However, they're not going to be able to protect from you. That's going to be able to go through a protect, and some people might not know that. So they may protect on you in that one turn, and then you can go for the Shadow Force and be able to still hit them. And not just that, but if Giratina is faster than your other Pokemon, and you hit them with that Shadow Force, you end up taking away their protect the same way that something like Feint would, and then your other Pokemon's going to be able to hit them too in that same turn. So basically, you would make them waste a turn. But even if they don't do that, the Shadow Force is going to do a ton of damage. Shadow Sneak is going to be good for a priority move to be able to pick up a couple of Pokemon that are really close to being knocked out. Dragon Claw is a really great stab move to use against Dragon-type Pokemon. And Earthquake is a really good one to just kind of have as coverage too. You never know when there's going to be, a Fire Pokemon, a Steel Pokemon, or something like that. So it's nice to have something kind of in the back pocket like that to be able to hit both foes and also do some really good damage into some very common typings. Now, the other good thing about Giratina is it does have Telepathy. The good thing about that is if you have an ally that has a spread move that hits every single Pokemon on the field, including your ally, Giratina is not going to take that. I'm sure you guys have seen that on other Pokemon that have Telepathy too. I think Dialga and Palkia also have it. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about that. But either way, if you guys have seen it, you guys know how great it can be. But especially when you have Iron Moth out there with the choice specs, if you end up going Sludge Wave, you're going to do a ton of damage to both the Pokemon across from you. That stab plus the specs is going to go really crazy, and Giratina is not going to get affected by that. And that's really awesome, because then you get two really strong moves from two great Pokemon, and it's going to be really tough for both the opponents to end up surviving. So that's why a team of like Giratina and Iron Moth, I think is actually going to be really good. And hopefully we can actually get that out there on the field at some point during these battles. So I'm actually really excited. We used this on stream for a couple battles, but I didn't really get a chance to really explore this team a little bit more. So I'm really excited to get a chance to do that right now. And again, big thank you out to Nate for letting me use the team, because I think this is going to be a lot of fun. But we'll get into some battles, but before we do, as always, if you guys are new here, just tapping chat, please make sure to go down and hit the subscribe button. If you guys do enjoy the video, please make sure to drop a like too. But let's get into the battles. Now, looks like we're unfortunately going to be facing a Shadow Rider. That is not what we want to see at all, unfortunately. That's going to be okay. We're going to start Tornadus. And I think we'll start Giratina. I'm going to end up bringing Iron Moth because, I don't know, I like the thing. And honestly, I think we're going to round it out with Flutter Mane. Main reason for that is that thing does have a speed booster, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to be faster than Shadow Rider. And honestly, that's going to be pretty damn important. So let's see what we can do with Giratina. It's going to be a tough one. It really will, especially starting with Giratina. But as long as we can get some, damage on it, I'll be pretty damn happy. That'll be nice to see how thick Giratina can be too, because I think this might be a Ghost Terra, honestly. So let's go with our Tailwind. And you know they're going to terrestrialize, right? So let's go with the Shadow Force. The good thing about the Shadow Force, too, is some people don't realize that you can actually hit through that. Yeah, here comes the Terra. It's fine. As long as it's not a normal Terra, we're going to be fine. You know, realistically. That's not going to be good. Because that may just pick us up in one. If I knew it was going to be a Ghost Terror, we would have just went for the Shadow Sneak, honestly. Okay, I think we say goodbye to Giratina here. I think it's going to be thick enough because of the AV, but again, I don't know for sure. It's just a hope. Thick. Yeah, it ain't going to do that anymore. I'll say that for a fact, but, you know. Oh, nice! Okay, that's awesome. I thought that they were going to be sashed. Thankfully, that is not going to be the case. Now let's go Flutter. I think we're going to have to terrestrialize here just to get away from the Ghost weakness. And the reason why we're going to terrestrialize and move here is because it's possible that they swap out and bring in something like Incineroar just to be able to take the Ghost move. So I think we're going to terrestrialize. And we're going to go with the Dazzling Gleam. The other thing we could do is go with the Shadow Ball too. But again, if they do end up swapping out, it's not going to make much of a difference. But again, are they going to swap out? Let's go with the Dazzling. Here comes Incineroar. We should have went with the Shadow Ball. Or Ninetales. Okay, I guess that's another possibility. I gotta hope that they protect here. Honestly, that's our best case scenario. And I mean, seriously, best case scenario. We're gonna knock them out with the Shadow Force, but, you know, for sure. Now, I wish I would have trusted my gut a little more and went with the Shadow Ball, but I wouldn't have been able to forgive myself. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. That is awesome. That's fine. We'll get about a third to a half over there, maybe? If we're lucky, only because we're not spec'd. That's more than I was expecting, and I'm so happy about that. And again, like I said, some people forget that you can actually hit through that. So let's keep it up here. Okay, so we take out their restricted. Ours is still intact, with barely any HP. Not great, but something that we're just going to have to live with here. Good thing is we know that one... Oh, I bet you they end up bringing Incineroar here. That would be the right call at this point. Only because then they would have some fake out pressure, and they would also get the Intimidate. Oh, they're going to go Tornadus. Okay, that might be even better. So, here's what we're going to do. Because we all still have Tailwind intact. And we're Speed Booster. We know we're going to be faster, so let's go for that Dazzling Gleam. And because Tornadus would be faster than us, Giratina, that is, we're just going to go with the Shadow Sneak just so we can get some good damage. It's not bad. We'll get the Dazzling Gleam next. We take out Ninetales and we get them down to almost out. As long as they miss one of the Bleak Winds here, we're going to be fine. As long as they don't get a speed drop on a Bleak Wind, we're going to be fine. It's okay. This is going to be fine. Here comes Incineroar now. They're only going to be able to stop one of us. Right now. So, let's just go out there with both moves. I mean, we have to move with them, you know, so that's one thing. But, again, we could have protected with Flutter. And we're not going to do that. We're going to go for the Dazzling Gleam. And we would take out Flutter with a Sludge Wave, but honestly, I think that's going to be our best case right here. So let's go Sludge Wave. Yes, we will probably knock out Flutter Mane, but it's going to be our strongest move with the specs here. Let's hope it works. That's all I'll say. That's all I will say. So it's probably going to be a Bleak Wind and a Fake Out. All right, so we lose Flutter Mane here. Yes, let's go. Perfect. Again, we end up dropping two of our Mons, one of our Mons. That is unfortunate. But Incineroar, with that amount of damage, once it's a single target, bro, I think he goes down on this next turn. And we only have to worry if they have a barrier or anything either. So yes, I know, that's a sacrifice of Flutter Mane there. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Let's Sludge Wave one more time, let's pick up this victory, and let's get the hell out of here. Thank you very much. Again, man, that thick Giratina being able to survive... There we go. Being able to survive the Astral Barrage there, even though it was super effective, effing huge. And the fact that they ended up protecting on the Shadow Force, it was really great too. That allowed us to survive out there and get some damage on both the Mons that they had out there as well. So there we go, good game. And you can definitely tell that we're getting to the end of the regulation because... Anyway though, this is going to be fun though. I actually kind of like it. I like Galarian Slowking, not going to lie. Both him and Galarian Slowbro are just really great Mons. But again, not necessarily ones that we want to see here. So here's what we're going to do. Is we're going to go Giratina. And we're also going to go... Honestly, I think we're going to go with Flutter Mane as well. The reason why we're starting both these guys is because none of them are going to get faked out. So let's go with them. I think we're going to end up bringing... Yeah, screw it. Why not? Let's bring Iron Moth. We get those specs. And realistically, we should probably go Rillaboom. Probably. So I think we're going to do that. Baxcalibur would have been pretty good too, honestly, but... Downside is even if we Terrastallize, if we were out there against Walking Wake, we're donezo. You know? Because we would go into ground, so we'd be weak to a Dragon move, but then if we Terrastallize, we'd be weak to the Hydro Steam. That's what it's called, right? Either way, we see a Slowking instead. Okay. That might be the one that we have to focus on, too. That's the worst part. It's okay. Here is what we're going to do. Go ahead, get your booster special attack. Yeah. So. I wish Shadow Force was a one-turn move right now. Let's go with the Shadow Force. The good thing, too, is if they do end up putting up, like, a Trick Room or something, we would then go last after that. That's alright, we'll see what ends up happening. We'll go Moonblast over there. That's probably going to be their Terra, honestly. But we'll see here in just a moment. One of these two is Terrastallizing. Or one of them is going to Protect. They were going to leave themselves open to a Shadow Ball. They were going to leave themselves susceptible to a Shadow Ball. Why did I not take it? The world may never know. Either way, though, we're going to Protect here. We're going to be able to take out Slowking. And then, yeah, we won't take any damage because we should be going last with the Shadow Force. Which means we are trapped in the abyss for a little bit longer. Man, I can't believe we didn't just go for the Shadow Ball. That would have definitely been the play. Thankfully we protect though. What are you going to go with? Yep, no Sludge Bomb thankfully. We should pick up the KO so we don't have to worry about a Sludge Bomb. No Volt Switch for you either, that's awesome. And here comes the Shadow Force. Goodbye, Slowking. And even though the Altered Forme, you know, that is... I know I explained this before, but I know that the Altered Forme and the Origin Forme just had their attack, special attack, swapped with their defense, special defense, and this one's the weaker one, but still, damn good damage right there, and we are extremely happy about that. And by we, I mean me. So, I think we're going to go into a Ghost type here, just to take away our Dragon. And I'm going to go for an Earthquake. No, we're not, but we're still going to Terrastalize. We're going to go for the Dragon Claw. No, because they're going to Terrastalize. That's fine. We're going to lose Flutter Mane here. We're going to lose Flutter Mane. Again. But it's okay. They didn't Terrastalize. Okay, well, that's going to be a problem then. I was expecting them to tear into fire only because... again, there's a Fairymon out there. Never mind, we're a little bit slower. We'll take that all day. And there's that Fire Terra. And now we can go Earthquake, and we'll do some really good stuff. Again, we just wanted to take away our Dragon weakness. That was the main thing. I do just realize now, too, thank you, AV, that, nice Flutter Mane. Ooh, nice crit, too. But, yeah, we're gonna have a hard time with Rilla, though. It's okay, though. That's okay. Here's the positive now. Here is the positive. Nice. A little bit of recoil. We appreciate that. We're going to end up bringing out them. We'll probably be slower, unfortunately. But we're going to be okay, though, because here's what we can do. I'm going to go for the oof. Here's the thing. The Earthquake is 100. Super effective, but less damage because it's spread. Shadow Sneak is 40. With double stab, yeah, that's not going to do much. Still go with the Shadow Force over there. And let's go with the Sludge Wave. Why not? I feel like that's always a great move to use. As long as they don't double attack Iron Moth, I think we're going to get the move off. That's awesome. That's even better. We'll get the Shadow Force. We'll hit them on the next one, which is going to be even better. Now we'll get the Sludge Wave. We should pick them up. We sure do. And now all we have to do is just worry about one more Mon. Just one more. Unfortunately, that is going to be a tough one to have to deal with. But we can still do it. I think we're going to have to Terrastalize into grass here. Never mind, because we already Terrastalized, so never mind. We can't do that. So we're in the middle of that move, unfortunately, but we can go Sludge Wave again. We may get KO'd to Hydro Steam, but you know what? We have Rillaboom in the back, and as long as we're able to take out Koraidon here, I'm not too worried. Good to know we're slower than the both of them. Let's go. See you, buddy. Yeah. In the sun as well. That's okay, though. That's okay. They did what they were supposed to do. And now, because they're Life Orb, I think we're going to be fine. And not because they're Life Orb, but again, because of the two mons that we end up having left here, we're going to be fine. We can go for the Shadow Force on this one, actually, which honestly is really nice because they may protect, and if not, we do end up flinching them anyways, so that's always a big positive. So let's go Shadow Force. Honestly, yeah, we're going to do it anyways. We're going to do it anyways. Because of the increase in power over the Dragon Claw, I think it's going to be worth it. Let's do that. Let's fake out. We know that they don't have a Covert Cloak or anything, so at least we get that damage. That's perfect. Shadow Force. And then we'll pick it up. We could probably go for a Grassy Glide just to ensure that we're going to get enough to be able to KO. So let's do that. Let's Grassy Glide. We'll get him down to about half, I'm hoping. And then, yeah, we're going to end up taking care of it with the Shadow Force. If they protect, if they even have it, the Grassy Glide's not going to do anything, obviously, but the Shadow Force still goes through it. We just have to figure out what their thought process is. And that will come in the event of them choosing their moves. This is just filler speech right now. I can't believe they had Protect the whole time. Okay, so we don't get the Grassy Glide. Unfortunate, but Shadow Force. Right through ya. Oh, and that's more than enough to pick it up. Even better, I'm kind of glad we didn't get the Grassy Glide. Kind of showed how strong this thing is with that Ghost Terra. And thankfully, despite the fact that, again, the Ghost Terra could have gotten us in trouble a little bit there, it allowed us to survive that Draco Meteor, even though with the damage, we still would have survived just with very, very little HP. But it allowed us to survive that and have a really, really strong Shadow Force right there. It's a good game. And I think I see a Clefable on this one. This is a pretty interesting team. Again, not a good one for Giratina. But we're going to make it one. We're going to find some way to make it one. Some way. So, I think we're going to start out with Tornadus. And we're going to go Giratina as well. I'm going to bring Iron Moth. And I'm going to bring... Oh, Baxcalibur is not a good call, though. Can I make Baxcalibur a good call? I can fix him, I swear. Let's just go Rillaboom. Honestly, the Miracle Seed is just going to be some good damage. And we do have high horsepower on it, so... Again, that'll be good to go into Steel and stuff like that. We'll have priority with Grassy Glide to be able to take care of some of the weaker physical defenders. And I think we should be good to go. That's unfortunate. Let's go Giratina. Alright, so, let's go with the Tailwind here. Okay, well, the good thing is we don't have to worry about Steel now. That's great. But we're going to go for the Shadow Force over into Zacian just to get away from them. And Moltres... Yeah, Moltres is going to be rough for us, honestly. Thankfully, we're getting away from a Fiery Wrath on this one, though. And to play rough. That's awesome. Don't get me wrong, Giratina is dead once it comes back, but... Still, that's, you know, that's a thing. So let's go Bleakwind Storm here. Let's get some damage. Hopefully on both. And maybe we can get a speed drop too. Iron Moth is going to be pretty deadly here, honestly. I think that's going to be really good. Hopefully we can take out Zacian. Nope, we would have needed the Terra. Get the play rough, not yet a KO. But the Fiery Wrath will do it. Thankfully, we do stay in with Tornadus. That's really good. And now, thankfully, Iron Moth is honestly going to be just absolutely fantastic here. Again, they're not Steel. They're just Fairy. Which means that... Well, That means that Tornadus is going down here, which, again, is pretty unfortunate, but... Unless we tear into steel. Why not? Let's tear into steel. Let's go Bleak Wind Storm. And let's go Sludge Wave. That's totally understandable. I can't be upset at that. Clefable's going to be gone now. Nice shiny, too. Very nice. Again, this will be good to be able to survive, obviously, the Sludge Wave, because we're not going to get affected by it. Thank you. Goodbye. And now we just need to hope that we can hit a Bleak Wind Storm. Can we do it? We can. Yes, we can. That's beautiful. It's rare, but it happens sometimes. And we're very, very grateful when it does. We thank Arceus for all of his... Yeah. Either way, though, that's good. Zacian's almost done, so we still have Tailwind, I believe, for one more. But if that is a booster speed, it is not. That's good to know. So Tailwind for one more. They don't have anything. We're going to have to go with that Bleak Wind Storm. And let's go with that Sludge Wave yet again. It's not like they can really terrestrialize into Fairy here. I only say that because you're going to get taken down by the Sludge Wave, you know what I mean? At least if you don't terrestrialize, you're going to be able to have a chance to survive it. Now, I'm guessing this is Zacian? It is not. Good game. We like that. Appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I think they probably would have survived if they would have stayed Ghost and Fairy. I only say that because you have the resistance with the Ghost. At least that offsets the Fairy. But either way, though, extremely happy about that. Again, that was still a really cool team. Feel bad that we knocked out Clefable in one, but only because I feel like that thing could have been a lot of fun if that stayed on the field. But again, either way, we ended up picking up the victory. That's all we were trying to do in that. Very happy. Good game. So look, I get it. This Giratina is a little weaker from an special attack standpoint than the Origin Forme. But at the same time, the amount of defense, special defense, and HP that this one has, plus that Assault Vest, allows it to stay on the field for a long time. I mean, look at that. It was able to survive an Astral Barrage and a lot of other moves that would normally take out something that would be a Ghost type like that. And when you're able to stay in and be able to hit Shadow Force, which is a 120 move, which I know is a 2-turn move, but it ends up going through Protects. So it's not like they can protect or really get away from it. The only way they'd be able to protect, really, would be to go into something that would resist it, or something that's like a normal type so that you completely ignore it. You know what I mean? But either way, though, Giratina does a lot of damage with that. You can get a little extra bit, especially as a priority move with the Shadow Sneak. Dragon Claw is really great against the other dragon types that you might see. And then Earthquake is a really good one as well. You never know when you can use it. Obviously, don't use that with Rillaboom when they're out there, or while the grassy terrain is out there, because it ends up having the damage with that. But still, it could be a really good one, especially in a pinch, if you're against something like an electric type, or something else that's going to be weak to ground. Or if you have two opponents that are going to be weak to ground, could be a really good thing to do. And the other good thing about Giratina, too, is that Telepathy. You see, if we end up putting it out there with Iron Moth and it end up going Sludge Wave, it ain't going to affect Giratina at all. And again, that's the really great thing about that ability, and why those two together are actually a lot of fun. Especially if you're able to get up a Tailwind and you know that you're going to outspeed them. It's nice to be able to hit them with the Sludge Wave and then finish them off with something from Giratina. But again, even though I know the Origin Forme is a little bit stronger, the Altered Forme is still a lot of fun too, and it can still hit pretty hard with that 100 attack. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go down and drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.